TJ Watt isn't in Pittsburgh right now. I mean, quarterbacks taking snaps, in Cleveland right now. You think all these contracts are going to get solved, or the way that reps have been split?
There's not many players hold out for minicamp. There are only 4 this year so far. With TJ Watt, I anticipate a deal is going to get done there eventually. Mike Tomlin said as much yesterday.
Make sure to subscribe. Thanks. Now back to work.
Hey, what it do, man? Check it out. It's your boy, Mr. 1%, and we back right here on the 1% Network with that college football news, that NFL news, all around sports news, man. Check it out. NIL news, anything, man. We ready to drop it if you're looking for it. But right now, I thought it was interesting to kind of cover the fact that a lot of the top NFL stars have been missing out on OTAs, missing out on mini camps, things like that. And it's not a new thing. Honestly, it's not a new thing. Guys have always done it, when they think they deserve more, they looking for more put out from the team. It could be more money, it could be simply just a little bit of respect, but we're gonna get into that and check it out, because there's some huge names, right, that's sitting out of mini camps, and that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks, because you might have younger guys coming in. I could imagine, right, if I'm just coming out of college and I want to get there, and I've been watching these guys play, my whole life, and then, he not showing up, what kind of message does that send to the rest of the team? What kind of message does that send to the younger guys? They get to see, somebody that they looked up to their whole life, and now you're just not showing up, But on the other hand, for the guy who not showing up, we have families to feed, things of that nature. So it's all understandable, man, and we're going to dig into it right here. Man, so the biggest name, right, in the game, probably period, right now, up there, top 2 or 3 stars, Lamar Jackson, has missed some mini camp practices, and according to the internet, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. He's missing over $750,000, not showing up to practice. What does this lead to the team? How does this affect the younger guys? He needs to build with Hopkins. What's going on? Man, hey, this guy's a pro, and he's done been there enough. And actually, if you're going to be there all summer and be there all fall, that's a long time, to be locked in on football. So I think it's a good idea to actually go and get a reset. Mental health, right? Mental health. The sports world don't care about mental health until it's too late. So Lamar, take care of yourself, right? And look, I kind of agree with head coach Harbaugh, right, of the Baltimore Ravens. He said, I don't measure how they play. No, check that. He says, I measure how they play, not their attendance, right? This is not a mandatory deal, right now at this mini camp. It's for the younger guys to come in and learn the system, to get in shape. We know Lamar Jackson knows the system. We know he can make all the throws. We know he's going to be in shape. He always shows up in shape. So I agree with Harbaugh, man. Let your veteran quarterback be a vet and do what he needs to do. Coach Harbaugh says, hey, as long as Lamar Jackson is present and accountable at game time, that's all I can care about, right? He understands that this guy has a family, this guy has things going on. So he's not really measuring attendance. He knows and he promises the media that Lamar Jackson is working and doing everything that he needs to do. Okay, according to Pat McAfee, Lamar Jackson to be missing about $750,000, and that is a big deal. That's a big deal. Anyone could use that money. Like I said, it's all about helping, building the community, helping out your family. So we understand, the concerns there about that. But obviously, Mr. Lamar Jackson said he's in a good place. Everything's taken care of, and he's doing what he needs to do. Like I said, take care of your mental health, man. As long as you come strong, when it's camp time, it comes August preseason, you come out strong, leading the team, doing what we know you can do, you've been doing for years. No one can be mad at it. I'm on Lamar Jackson's side right there. All right, so now we're going to switch sides of the ball, man, get into the defensive side of the ball a little bit. Some of the best pass rushers in the league not showing up to minicamp, right? TJ Watt and Hendrickson, right? These 2 guys definitely put up big numbers, are the core, to that defense, helping their team out, and definitely leaders, on the field, off the field. Again, the same questions will come up. How does this affect the younger guys? How does this affect the locker room? But we're going to get into, the different programs and what the teams feel about TJ Watt and Hendrickson right now. So we know that, you miss days, you miss these mini camps, you get docked pay, and the more days you miss, the bigger player you are, the more big lump sum that you owe back to the team, right? But again, these guys have been doing it at a high level for a very long time. That's not really their concern. They're concerned about, getting what they're due when the season starts, right? So TJ Watt is seeking a new contract as he enters his final year of extension, that he signed in 2021. He was already getting $21 million, and I think that is a great deal, but for TJ Watt and all the success and all the fans and everything he brings out, and actually I could understand him wanting to end his career as a Steeler. He's been there for so long. He's been doing, I think he's 7 years, going on his 8th year now, or maybe going on his 7th year now, something like that, right? So at the end of the day, his annual salary right now is at about $28 million, a year. I think that if he can get up to probably about that 37 million a year, he would be comfortable and come back to the Steelers and help that steel curtain defense do what they need to do. Now, as we get into Hendrickson a little bit, everybody know he's been leading the league in sacks. 2024 he had 17 and a half sacks. And his situation, Hendrickson's situation, is a little special because he's been actually fighting for a new contract over the past several years. And since he joined Cincinnati, since he joined the Bengals in 2021, he has about 60 sacks since 2021, right? And these guys won't pay this man, what he's asking for. So, like I say, the past few several years, he's actually been trying to get Cincinnati to come around. But Cincinnati is one of those teams, right? The Bengals are one of those organizations. They're terrible with how they pay guys. They took a long time to pay their offensive stars. They almost let those guys get up out of there. And it's tough. Another one of them cold places that's tough to be in, tough to play in. So, Hendrickson, man, keep fighting for yourself. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know skipping out on minicamp for you, it will not affect your play, right? Having about 18 sacks last season, we know you're going to come to play. You probably out there training with Aaron Donald or something, dodging knives and like the ninjas, whatever, all that stuff that he be doing, man. So that's exciting to see, because this is a different type of situation. There's someone here that we know who's been fighting, for fairness and what he feel like he deserves the past few years, and they haven't given it to him. That also lets me think about that rookie. So it was a rookie that the Bengals had who didn't participate in camp because his contract wasn't right, and everybody was faulting the rookie. But it's like players have to take care of themselves. If you don't take care of yourself, it'll be 15 years down the line, you're trying to figure out what's going on, learning the next steps of life, what you need to do with the next parts of life, and you don't realize that you were treated wrong, back in the day when you was playing, or they took advantage of you, they didn't pay you all your money, all kind of things happen, and we hear all kind of stories. So I want everybody to get their money, man. I don't know how you feel, right? Hey, if you sitting out there on YouTube and you watching this right now and somebody owe you some money, I want you to get your money, player. Hey, you feel me? Everybody need to get their money. You feel me? So, man, let me know what you think down there in the comments, man. We got TJ Watt, we got Trey Hendrickson, we got the famous Lamar Jackson, man. 3 top NFL guys, right now, as far as promotion, marketing, jersey sales, fans that come out to see them. I know they sign a lot of cars, have a lot of NIL deals, I guess you could call it now, for these guys. So it would suck for them not to be happy and not to be playing at their full potential. So, man, let's see what happens. Let me know what you think. Do they deserve the raise? Are they acting like spoiled brats? The hard-working civilians that go work 9 to 5 would do it for, half of that in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, So, man, let me know what you think, man. Again, I think they deserve their money. Lamar Jackson, Hendrickson, Watt, take care of your mental health. Fight for yourself, because if you don't, nobody will, man. And that's it. That's the end of this one right here, man. We out. Let us know what you think. Later.
3